अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स। तो फ्रेंड्स, क्या हाल चाल है आप लोगों का। आज हम लाइव आए हैं। हमारे पास है यहाँ पे पोको X3 का लॉन्च इवेंट। तो इस इवेंट में आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए। हम आपको दिखाएंगे पोको X3। बस 2 मिनट 25 सेकेंड्स लगे हैं, उसके बाद यहाँ पर आएगा जी पोको X3। अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है आपका तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। आपका क्या आइडिया है कि पोको X3 जो है उसकी क्या प्राइस होगी, आप कमेंट में बता सकते हैं। गेस करें। हमें ज्वाइन किया है जी तलाल जानी ने। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। वालेकुम सलाम। अयान फैसल ने भी मैसेज किया है। गुड, थैंक यू अयान फैसल। दिल दिलशाह हाय। कमेंट करते रहिए ताकि मुझे पता लगे किस किस ने ज्वाइन किया है हमें। हेलो ब्रो, हाय, आप कैसे हैं? ठीक हैं? अमजद हुसैन वालेकुम सलाम। सिर्फ 29 सेकेंड्स हैं, उसके बाद जो है पोको X3 जो लॉन्च इवेंट है वो यहाँ पे स्टार्ट हो जाएगा और हम देखेंगे पोको X3 को। उसके बाद हम साथ ही कुछ देर में पोको X3 की जो अनबॉक्सिंग है वो अपने चैनल के ऊपर अपलोड कर देंगे और आप देख सकेंगे फ़ोन पोको X3 कैसा है। मुझे बताएं क्या आवाज़ मेरी क्लियर आ रही है सबको? तो इवेंट स्टार्ट हो गया।
Hello and good evening everyone. I'm Rabab Hashim, your host for the evening at this unique digital launch of Poco by Xiaomi Pakistan. I hope you guys are doing well and I really hope you're taking good care of yourselves and your loved ones. So basically we're here to reveal this really exciting, really fun device for you all, which is the Poco, and we have an evening full of surprises for you all. But before we begin any of that, I would like to first invite on stage Mr. Sufyan Ahmed, the marketing manager, who's going to join us here and tell us all about the device.
Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to Pakistan's first Poco's launch event today. And thank you all for joining us on the stream today. My name is Sufyan and I'm the marketing manager. Some of you may be remembered from the recent launches we had. Very excited to be here again. And we have a very exciting Poco product to share with you today. But before we dive into the device today, I want to share this specific line with you guys. Everything you need, nothing you don't. It is the very core of the Poco brand. It also our product philosophy. All of our devices are built based on this philosophy. The first and really created a new space of its own. Great performance with great price. Truly the master of speed. And then earlier, this year, we came back and launched the Poco F2 Pro, the powerfully cool phone. It inherited the spirit from the first generation Poco and was a true flagship killer. At the time launch, it was one of the most affordable Snapdragon 865 phone with a true full screen display. But following our philosophy, once again, we were crowned an excellent all-rounder. I had a blast using this phone. Really provided me the ultimate performance that I wanted. And that's really because we've delivered standard products in the past. Products that have disrupted the market. We stood out with our flagship killers in the phone market. Well, today, we're going to do it again, but in a different segment. Today, at Poco, at the mid-range segment, we will be even more detailed. Poco knows exactly what you need. So first we asked ourselves, what are people thinking for a mid-range phone? Well, first, we took a look at mid-rangers. They are made by other brands. They usually try to build an all-rounder with a price tag with 400 euros or more. And they tend to end up trying to focus on one or two features. Some may focus on camera, some may focus on battery, but mainly they aim for affordability, so compromises are usually made, which end up feeling like their price tag isn't that great. So we took this as a lesson. For our device today, we have named each category: camera, design, performance, battery, and price. We want to disrupt the market by releasing a true all-rounder in the mid-range segment. So are you guys ready? Introducing the Poco X3 NFC, the very first X-series phone launch from Poco in Pakistan. We are super excited and very proud to bring this device to you today. I've been using this device for a couple of weeks and now I can confidently say it's really good. So shall we get started? We're going to start with design today. Exactly the design you need. Now I've always
तो फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पे हमें दिखाने वाले हैं फ़ोन का डिज़ाइन जिस जिसने ज्वाइन किया है बहुत शुक्रिया.
Smartphones are starting to look very similar and we wanted to make sure that X3 really stand out. I'm not going to
फ्रेंड्स
tease
इस
anymore.
स्ट्रीमिंग
So
को
let's
ज़्यादा से
show
ज़्यादा
it.
शेयर कीजिए.
There is the Poco X3. It's got super bold and standout design, very eye-catching, and we spent a lot of time and effort to really make it unique but yet premium. Now when we deep dive into the design details, we have made a strong efforts. The stripe design is inspired by classic racing design, which is why we call it a finish line design. Behind the design, the Poco X3 differentiates from other products. As a fan of speed, I love it. And placed on the bottom and on the finish line, we have placed a big Poco logo with a standout chrome design. We wanted to make a statement with the logo, proud to own Poco. The logo itself actually changes color when you tilt in different angles. It's pretty cool. And when it comes to the whole back, we spent a lot of effort on designing, but we didn't slack when it comes to the actual handheld experience. With a 3D curved back design, it looks sleek and feels great in your hand. Now shall we take a look at the colors? So first we have the Poco X3 in the shade of grey. It looks absolutely stealth at night and stands out
जहाँ पे हमारे
beautifully.
पास
For
शेड ऑफ
those
ग्रे
who want
कलर है
a
बहुत ही
bit more of a
खूबसूरत.
pop color, we do have another color. We also
और
have the
दूसरा
cobalt
कलर है
blue,
हमारे
a
पास
very cool
कोबाल्ट
color,
ब्लू.
beautiful
दो
and
ही कलर्स
really
लॉन्च
light.
हैं
I love
पोको
this blue.
X3 के
They're
अंदर.
not too dark and not too bright.
Me
It's
loves
just
to
right.
this color.
Here are the two color variants. Both color variants are inspired by the racing car colors.
So friends,
And
ये two colors आप
these
देखेंगे
different
Poco
colors, it
X3
took
के अंदर.
almost 10 color processing each. Actually, let me show you. Now we have the cobalt blue and the shade of gray. Now if I tilt the phone in certain angles, you can see the logo color changes.
Wow.
And I have to say, which one is my favorite? I love both colors. Let us know in the comments below which one is your favorite. Now, we have talked how good it looks. Let's talk what's on the inside. We all know at the end of the day, it what really matters on the inside. Now, we believe in performance. That has always been part of the Poco heritage. Today is no different. We are going to give you exactly
फ्रेंड्स
the
मैं भी
performance you
अपना
need.
फ़ोन ले आया हूँ यहाँ पे आप
But
देख सकते
first,
हैं.
we need to identify
आप भी
what is
बताइएगा आपका
that
कौन
you
सा है
don't want.
फेवरेट कलर.
Laggy performance, unstable performance, slow performance. From personal experience and a mobile gamer myself, I cannot tolerate these words. when you are in the middle of a game or switching between the apps, and there just sudden lag, a shudder, and happens more often. It really ruins the overall experience. So our first priority is to make sure these concerns don't exist. Which is why, for our solution, we have an awesome processor. Actually, we are going to be globally debuting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G.
वाओ
We are
तो
very
फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे
excited
हमें
to work
पोको
with Qualcomm on
X3
this
के अंदर
project.
Qualcomm
Now, the
Snapdragon मिलेगा
732G
प्रोसेसर
was able to get an Antutu score over
जो आपकी गेम्स वगैरह लैग्स होती थी और स्लो
how
होती थी तो
good
वो
the score is.
प्रॉब्लम आपको
We
नहीं रहेगा
compared it to the other two 700 series processors that are very popular, the 720G and the 730G. And the X3 featuring the 732G came out on top with quite a difference. In the mid-grade segment, there's a very few phones that compete with this score. Then let's look at the scoring in the sections. The CPU, GPU, AI, and compare it to the other 700 series processor. For the CPU, which came out on the top with a small difference. But the GPU, the 732G, really pulled away, which tells us that this processor can handle some gaming for sure. And when it comes to AI, a photo processing or virtual assistant, it beats out the competition completely. Let me talk about how it was able to achieve this. For the CPU, 732G took the best of 720G and 730G, improved it even more. With 8nm processor, it's power efficient, extra powerful with the processing up to 2.3 GHz, having 2 gold cores and 6 silver cores. The performance is very capable of some serious workload, offering the best in-class speed. The GPU is fueled by the Adreno 618, the elite gaming series by Qualcomm, really pushes Poco X3's hardware and software with some selected elite gaming features. Some of you guys know I'm a gamer. I've been gaming on the X3 for a while now.
तो फ्रेंड्स जहाँ
Actually,
पे
a couple
मैं
of hours a
भी
day,
गेमर
at
हूँ
least, and it
पोको
really
X3
delivers a great gaming performance every single day. When it comes to AI processing, the X3 can reach 3.6 trillion operations per second. That's mind-blowing fast.
तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे आप इसका स्पीड दे सकते हैं 3.6 तक ये जा सकता है
and shows you that blurry image with the loading circle with 3.6 top. You're really going to see that loading circle again. After the comparisons against the 720G and 730G, the results is clear. 732G has taken the crown on being the leading 4G processor in 700 series this year. Whether if you are gaming with its GPU processing power, offering you a super smooth gaming experience, or multitasking, opening multiple apps at the same time, then switching between them, it can handle with ease. You won't need to clear your background apps so often. Or
तो फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पे बहुत ही अमेजिंग हमें स्पीड देखने को मिलती है पोको X3 के अंदर फास्ट फोटो प्रोसेसिंग आपको इसमें मिलेगी
in the 700 series, you will always be fast. Now to pair with such awesome processor, we have to also match up the RAM and ROM technology with 6GB LPDDR4X and up to
देखने आप
128GB
फ्रेंड लोग
UFS
अभी
2.1.
हम अनबॉक्सिंग डालेंगे इसकी तो
And
भी आप
if you
देख सकते हैं
want more storage, which I know it's still a hugely demanded option, we've also added expandable storage option up to 256GB. So is that all exactly the performance you need? Come on fans, you guys should know Poco never just stopped there. Of course not. Introducing the liquid cool technology 1.0 plus. It almost a tradition to put a liquid cool in our performance-driven phones. Now you may realize we're calling it 1.0 plus.
तो फ्रेंड्स इस फ़ोन के अंदर आपको एक लिक्विड टेक्नोलॉजी मिलेगी जो कि आपके फ़ोन को हीटअप नहीं होने देगी तो आप ये देख सकते हैं कि कैसा है ये
And you're always looking to improve it. So for our liquid cooling technology 1.0 plus, we increase the heat pipe size by 70%, which allows more heat taken and cooling the device much faster. Better heat pipe is always better. Now how does this structure works? Because the enlarged heat pipe placed directly above the CPU, and we are able to disperse the heat straight to the mid-frame, which then spread the heat even
तो
more.
फ्रेंड्स ये ऐसे आपकी हीट जो है एब्सॉर्ब करेगा और आपका फ़ोन जो है हीटअप नहीं होगा
Disperse the heat generated by the screen. So with liquid cooling technology 1.0 plus, CPU temperature can be cooled up to 6 degrees compared to devices that don't have liquid cooling technology, keeping the phone very cool and sustaining the peak performance, so you don't throttle in the middle of intense game of after hours of gaming.
तो यानी आप पोको X3 पे घंटों के घंटे गेम्स खेल सकते हैं, तो ये आपका फ़ोन हीट अप नहीं होगा, कूल रहेगा।
128 GB storage and expandable storage along with the liquid cooling technology 1.0 plus. It's difficult to identify this is a mid-range segment setup. It's just so smooth. Now we talked about what we didn't want earlier. So what is our solution? Offering you a smooth gaming experience, fast performance, and sustainable performance when you need it. Exactly the performance you need.
जो परफॉर्मेंस आप चाहते थे फ्रेंड्स, वो आपको यहाँ पोको
we
X3
talked
के
about
अंदर
performance.
मिलेगी।
We know that it's powerful. How do we actually see all the power? Does the Poco X3 have it all? What it take to display all of its performance and provide a great viewing experience? The simple answer is yes. We most certainly do. Like I said earlier on Poco, we deem every part of the phone important, and we put in extra effort in display. As we know, a lot of our users love gaming and watching videos on their phones. So once again, we had to make sure what we are creating isn't any of these. Slow response display, a screen that shutters, and certainly not a small display. So what we're going to offer is a big 6.67 inches full HD
तो
display.
फ्रेंड्स जहाँ
It's
पे
a lot
आपको
of screen.
6.67 इंच का बहुत ही बड़ा डिस्प्ले
Display
मिलने वाला है।
It's actually the same size as our Poco F2 Pro.
ये वही
We
सेम
have a
साइज है
dot
जो
display
पोको
on the
F2
X3,
प्रो में
which
हमें मिला
features
था।
a very tiny dot in the middle. It may be just the smallest dot in the market with just 3.8 millimeter of size. We wanted to make
तो
sure
फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पे मैं छोटा सा डॉट आपको मिलेगा जो कि आपका फ्रंट
It's really
कैमरा है।
small. You barely notice it. Now features. I know you guys are excited, but let's take a look at something first. In 2020, refresh rate has been a hot topic in the smartphone industry. And if you look at the market as a whole, there's only a few devices in the market that has 120 Hz. And most of our flagship devices, which means they are priced over 1 lakh rupees. Pricing out many.
तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे आपको 120 हर्ट्ज का रिफ्रेश रेट मिलेगा, देख सकते हैं कितना ये फास्ट है। और अगर आपके दूसरे फोन्स में देखें तो ये आपको 1 लाख से ऊपर के फोन में देखने को
60
मिलेगा।
frames per second is great, but I always wanted better. I need a high refresh rate to up my game. With the X3,
बिलाल हैदर, वालेकुम सलाम, थैंक यू आपने मुझे ज्वाइन किया।
This was a crucial decision for us. We really dug
मियाँ जी
deep into
सर पोको
really
F2
finding
प्रो
out
कब
what
आएगा?
our fans
बहुत
want.
जल्द आएगा।
With the 120 Hz, the screen refreshes 100% faster than 60 Hz. Let's show you the difference between the 60 Hz and the 120 Hz.
तो फिर यहाँ पे देखें आप डिफरेंस
As
के
you can see,
120 हर्ट्ज
with
डिस्प्ले
120 Hz, you are getting a
और
much
दूसरे
smoother
जो 60
scrolling.
हर्ट्ज डिस्प्ले है
This will be
दोनों
easier
का
on
आप
your
फर्क
eyes.
देख सकते हैं।
Super useful when you're scrolling on Twitter, web browsing, or Instagram. I did not realize the difference until I switched to 120 Hz, and something just felt different. Everything felt faster, and it's awesome. But the question we also had to consider, do we always need 120 Hz? Then our team discovered that actually most content doesn't support 120 Hz. So will 120 Hz activated on all the time to drain the performance and battery? Most likely, however, our display is dynamic. Let me show you what it means. Our 120 Hz display actually has two technology to conserve battery for you automatically. We can call this dynamic switch. It can automatically switch hertz rate based on the content you are viewing on the phone. For example, if you are recording or watching videos, it will adjust to 60 frames per second. And if you switch to certain game, it can up to 90 Hz with 90 frames per second for mobile gaming. A smooth gaming experience, but it can detect even more. And can also automatically go back up to 120 Hz of high performance gaming if the game supports. It's pretty smart tech. The second feature is actually when you're viewing a photo from gallery or a still image in general, it will automatically drop to 50 Hz. Pretty cool, right? 120 Hz is great, but more optimization is always better. So the result of dynamic switch is actually all about giving you 120 Hz smooth viewing when necessary and power efficiency when it's under 90 Hz, and advanced software technology that is smart in power consumption. We have discussed about refresh rate. What about touch touch sampling rate. It's a super important feature for the mobile gamers out there. For the Poco X3, we have a flagship touch sampling rate of 240 Hz. In fact, with 240 Hz, we are second fastest in the market. Really focused on making the gaming experience as great as possible. As we know, the popular game these days are shooters or racing games. Most phones and even flagship phones actually have a 180 Hz touch sampling rate, which makes the Poco X3 33% faster in touch sampling rate. We have recorded a comparison video between the Poco X3 and Samsung A71, which features a 120 Hz touch sampling rate tested by our internal labs. This is to showcase how it can give you an advantage in gaming. Let's have a look. In order to test this, we put the two devices under the robotic arm that touches the turbo button. Now if you take a look at the X3, the difference is the turbo blue light, the lit ups under the car. Because our screen detects faster, you can see. Then our turbo light comes up first. A small advantage, but in gaming, that's a game changer. If you do some simple math, 120 Hz plus 240 Hz offering you a 360 all-rounder smooth gaming experience. We want to take care of all the gamers out there, making sure we can optimize the best viewing and touch experience for them. Now besides having these awesome features, we also took the time to get our screen certified. We have 3 certifications for our display. Top Greenland low blue light to reduce damage to your eyes while maintaining a quality. HDR10 for optimizing colors and HD content. And of course, Widewine L1 certification, so HD Netflix and Prime Video will be available to you in HD quality. To sum up all the favorite features, a big 6.7 inches dot display with a tiny punch hole. We have a smooth 120 Hz refresh rate that's a flagship level, giving you a smooth experience in scrolling or gaming. Dynamic switch technology that conserves battery for you automatically. And 240 Hz touch sampling rate, one of the fastest in the market. Or did we mention, we're also covered by Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front for durability. So it can take some scratches here and there. So the solution to give you exactly the display you need. A fast response display, a smooth viewing display, a big display. Now, some of you may be questioning, with the high refresh rate, is it going to drain the battery? No. We definitely have exactly the battery you need. Again, we want to identify what we don't want. IMP battery, a slower charge. To avoid those points, we put in a massive 5160 mAh battery. Just
तो
for
फ्रेंड्स
2
यहाँ
days
पे
long battery on a
बहुत
single
बड़ी
charge.
हमारे पास
You
बैटरी
won't
है
need to worry about all the performance in the
5160
battery.
mAh की
This can handle it. I use my phone a lot, especially tweeting or Instagramming. I do a lot of testing and gaming, and yet with this massive battery, I don't have to need to carry my power bank around all of my time.
तो फ्रेंड्स इस
On a
मोबाइल के
single
साथ
charge,
आपको
you can
पावर
play
बैंक कैरी
10
करने की
hours of
जरूरत नहीं है,
gaming or
बहुत ही बड़ी
17 hours
बैटरी
of
है।
video playback.
तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं
X3 has enough battery to really
17
give you
आवर्स का
hours of
वीडियो
entertainment.
प्लेबैक ले सकते
Basically
हैं,
on everything,
10 आवर्स इस पे आप
wouldn't be
नॉन
issue
स्टॉप
at
गेमिंग
all.
कर सकते हैं।
But you
और
got to
साथ
charge
में
it at
आपको
some
मिलती
point,
है
right?
33
We have a
वॉट
flagship
की
33 watt
फास्ट
fast charging
चार्जिंग।
with a USB-C charger.
और सबसे
Just
मजे की
66
बात, आपको
minutes
बॉक्स के
to
अंदर जो
100%.
चार्जर मिलेगा वो भी
For a
33 वॉट।
5160 mAh battery, we're also including a 33 watt fast charger in the box. And you'll charge up in no time. Now, if we look at a charging comparison with Samsung A71, which features a 4500 mAh battery and 25 watt fast charger, 660 mAh less and only 5 watt in fast charging, which actually reaches 100% in 65 minutes.
फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पोको के अंदर बहुत ही
To
बड़ी
achieve that,
बैटरी है।
we use real smart charging technology. Middle with technology, in short MMT. Usually with no MMT, when you plug in your phone, the electric current is coming from the bottom of the battery and then charging up. The result is to charging really fast from 0 to 60%. Then resistance starts to build up and charging slows down. But with MMT, you have 2 electronic current charging at the same time.
Wow.
So it's more consistent and faster because it's charging from the middle of the battery and charging in 2 different directions. So less resistance. You guys must know that struggle when you've got somewhere to go and it charged 99% and it's taking forever for the last person. are at 90%. So with the Poco X3, you don't need to worry about running out of battery. It got over 2 days of battery life, along with 33-watt fast charging, exactly the battery you need. Now, we recap. Hz display and 5160 mAh battery. These 3 key features really makes up exactly the gaming you need.
तो फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पर आपको गेमिंग के लिए है तो तमाम फीचर्स मिलते हैं इवन मोर गेमिंग फीचर्स
super responsive when you are gaming and giving you the ultimate feel experience. It's not common to have such a great haptic in a bedroom, but we felt that it's a necessity. Every click you feel have a feedback. So I had to make sure the feedback felt good. To take it up to the next level, we have also have a dual speaker setup on the Poco X3.
तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे जो सबसे अमेजिंग फीचर मुझे पोको X3 के अंदर लगा है, यहाँ पर आपके पास ड्यूल स्पीकर्स हैं, यानी कि आपको यहाँ से भी आवाज आएगी और यहाँ से भी आएगी। इसको डोल्बी साउंड भी बोला जाता है।
We made this awesome video where you use the self-cleaning speaker function to blow dust out of the speaker. It's pretty awesome. With just one click in the speaker will clean itself.
Wow.
On the software end of the gaming, we do have Game Turbo 3.0 that has even more gaming optimization for you, such as performance mode, pushing maximum performance to what you play. Network optimization, so it will choose the best network between Wi-Fi and 4G connectivity. Sound quality optimization, very important. When it comes to a game like shooter FPS, PUBG, you don't want to miss a step. And a really fun feature, voice changer. Honestly, this is a hilarious feature, can change the latest processor for Qualcomm. As we know, it's great for gaming. Liquid cooling technology 1.0 plus
Friends,
to make sure you have a stable peak performance. 120 Hz refresh rate and 240 Hz touch sampling rate for fast response gaming viewing and touch experience. Z-axis linear motor, stereo speaker, and Game Turbo 3.0. Powering all these amazing performance, we have a 5160 mAh battery that also supports 33-watt fast charge. We have an awesome news to share with you as well. In order to announce next set of exciting activities that are lined up for you, I would like to call Bob back on stage.
Thank you, Sufyan. So as part of its vision, Poco aims to bring together the ultimate experience with the latest technology for its large use. So who could explain all of this better than the gaming experts themselves? Yes, you guys have, which includes Pakistan's biggest gaming YouTuber, Lucky Bhai, and the biggest tech vloggers of Pakistan, Bilal Munir from Video Wali Sarkar, Ali Abbas from Mustard, Atik from Little Gaming, and Akram Ali from Tech for Test and Pro Pakistani. Let's welcome them all.
तो फ्रेंड्स ये हमारे
All you guys are watching this from home.
है पोको
If you're just
X3
joining us in Power Packing session with these fabulous guys, keep following us on our social media pages to participate and win exciting prizes.
Thank you so much for joining us here. You guys are all amazing. And now over to you, Sufyan.
Thank you very much. So this is the all-star team. Now we're going to move on to camera, and I'm super excited for this one. Poco X3 features a flagship level quad camera. Yes, we have seen a lot of quad cameras this year.
फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पे हमारे पास quad camera setup है बहुत ही जबरदस्त
64 megapixel main sensor, 119-degree ultra-wide angle camera, a macro camera for a depth sensor. So let's start with 64 megapixel main camera. Poco X3 NFC uses as industry-leading 64 megapixel Sony IMX682 sensor.
तो फ्रेंड्स जहाँ पे हमारे पास सोनी IMX का लेंस जो है वो यूज किया गया है।
With this, the Sony IMX682 produces amazing image quality with precise colors and rich details. Let's show you guys some shots.
तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे कुछ शॉट्स हैं जो इन्होंने लिए हैं इससे पोको
The specific
X3
photo was shot by one of my colleagues in Malaysia.
वाओ
Ultra clear with sharp details. Even when the photo has a lot to process, it doesn't miss any details. It's great when you just want to take a scenery shot or a quick shot. And then we have a 15 megapixel ultra wide that can capture 119-degree angle. Now this is an awesome photo and I love it. We captured so much here and was able to get the circle in the middle to look similar than it actually is. We actually thought of trying to capture the photo without having the massive crane, but I thought it looks pretty natural, wide and beautiful. Let's talk about the macro now, a lens that I believe people just don't use enough. It's such a cool feature. We wanted to shoot something that you could potentially find at home, and maybe something just naturally not pleasing, but when you look close, it can be super cool. We took a shot of just a cork structure and it just looks magnificent. And put a depth sensor for portrait mode. The details on the image, the blurred background just right, with the model perfectly cut for all the right details, very on point. Now we do know, in the year of 2020, people haven't been able to travel a lot, mostly spending time at home or at the office. So we want to show some very easy to use and very cool feature for you to turn your everyday content in extraordinary content. For the first feature, I named it Poco Stays Classy with Gold. Let me show you what it means. For example, we take an awesome shot like this, already very nicely taken. Just right in the middle of Chicago, USA. We captured a lot of light at night, but we want to make it even more rich. With a new filter, Gold Vibes Mode. It honestly just so awesome. I felt like this could be a scene out of The Great Gatsby. The air processing and details is just top notch right here. But not only nighttime. You can also try out day shots like this. It just needs a bit of a shadow and make it very classy. Honestly, a really cool filter. Besides stay classy at Poco, we must also look towards what the future might look like. So our next filter, again we take this pretty cool shot of the Japan Urban Light and change it to Cyberpunk mode. This adds a very sci-fi feel for your picture, enhancing the night shots with neon effect. You guys must try this. Another very cool feature we have is AI Skyscaping 3.0. We have made some major improvements and there is something special about this version. You can actually turn your daytime sky into night with specific effects. Let's have a look.
देखते हैं फ्रेंड्स,
You
तो ये
cannot
है हमारे
change
पास
any daytime shots into a
AI
nighttime
स्काई का
shot with the
फिल्टर,
northern lights.
जिससे
How
आप
cool is
डे
that?
लाइट को इजीली नाइट में
With
कन्वर्ट
AI
कर सकते
Skyscaping
हैं
3.0,
सिंगल
you
पिक्चर
can
से।
actually do a lot more,
AI
a lot of different options to let you explore your creativity.
3.0.
Now, we also have kaleidoscope mode on Poco X3. In this specific video, we only use architecture and buildings. Just something simple to make it look really cool. Let's have a look in the video.
तो फ्रेंड्स, ये पोको X3 से शूट की गई है वीडियो, आप देख सकते हैं, बहुत ही अमेजिंग।
As always, tag us on hashtag shot on Poco. When you get your X3 and take your beautiful shots, we would love to see it. So, to sum it all up, exactly the camera you need. Not only we have a flashy level quad camera, we make sure we add features that can really take your content and give it a different feel. We believe with so many features, you have a lot of fun playing with it. Photography is one of the key components that makes Poco X3 an epic phone. Taking things further with some of the most influential content creators and photographers of Pakistan. We'll begin a short session right after this.
फ्रेंड्स, कमेंट में बताइए आपको कैसा लग रहा है इवेंट। जिसने हमें ज्वाइन किया तो उसका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
Curious as to how we will be, especially for all.
जी बिल्कुल मुजीबुर रहमान भाई, ये 6GB 128GB वेरिएंट है।
I will explain it better than the experts.
And quite luckily, we have some amazing artists and content creators and some photographers here with us today.
Let's please invite them on stage. for an interesting discussion.
So without further ado, I would like to welcome on stage the really talented and young content creators Maham Iqbal Bosan, Arfa, Yukano and Opium. Let's welcome them all.
तो फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे कुछ हमारे पाकिस्तानी आर्टिस्ट हैं वो हमारे पास स्टेज पर हैं यहाँ पर इससे कुछ डिस्कशन होगी
So we welcome you all. We're very excited to have all of you here with us. So my first question for all of you is this, that do you feel that mobile photography could ever be taken seriously like art the way traditional photography is taken?
So I think photography was always an art because this has been a business now. But पहले उसे भी art ही होता था. And
Mobile photography. Do you feel like it can ever be taken seriously the way that you take traditional photography seriously?
yeah, I think in the previous years or in the last decade, if we see, we didn't have a lot of good phones, to be honest. Because everybody, if you have to have a good picture, I think हम किसी को बुलाते थे and we would ask them to take a picture. And we always had, we were looking for a person who has a DSLR. So DSLR was a big thing. If किसी के पास camera है, you can get a good picture. But it's not the same now because of the new smartphones that are coming.
I completely agree. I think Instagram जो लोग use करते हैं, it's mostly based on mobile photography. कोई DSLR निकाल के नहीं करता. So I think the next generation, it is very, very much into mobile photography instead of DSLRs.
So do you also feel that smartphones could sort of replace traditional cameras totally, or do you feel like they have some shortcomings which need work to be done on them?
I think in particular, fashion photography cannot be replaced by mobile photography. इसके अलावा I feel like everything can be replaced with mobile photography.
So what is the most important key factor when it comes to the quad camera setups we have all over the industry these days?
Obviously, the good camera in a phone,
I
matters
think
a
the
lot.
quality also, and
Yeah.
the ability to be able to edit the pictures once the picture has been taken.
So if you guys prioritize that, if we compare a macro, an ultra wide angle and a 64 megapixel primary camera, which should be the
प्राइस
first
अभी आप लोग गेस करें कुछ देर में हम आपको इसकी प्राइस भी बताएंगे अभी आप देखें कैमरास की क्वालिटी बिल्कुल नेट पे हम आपको प्राइस बताएंगे इसके अलावा इसमें बहुत सी ऑफर्स हैं गिफ्टिंग्स हैं वो भी आपको एंड पे बताएंगे तो वीडियो एंड पे देखें
Smartphone, the new upcoming smartphone, you can just by a click, you can just go to a different lens. You can choose whatever you want.
But like, let's if I ask how we should prioritize it as individual users you guys are.
I think it totally depends on the location you are, because I'm a big fan of wide angle photography. So for me, having a Poco phone with a wide angle lens is like a dream come true. Rather than carrying a 6 kilo of DSLR with me, I can just go on the street and take beautiful images. It's very easy.
Exactly.
And what about the 4K video recording option? Do you guys ever use that? Do you think that comes in handy?
We do use that, and also the wide angle, because when, for instance, I'm a travel blogger, so we do everything on our own. We don't have a DOP recording, we don't have a director. So when you're filming yourself like this, you need a wide angle, and then you also need to be in a good resolution. So 4K and wide angle, or ultra wide, for me is very important. It also then replaces GoPro for me, because GoPro is another device that you have to take out data from and charge it and then take it out. So if you have all-in-one phone, it completely replaces devices for me.
So I believe how it works is that the publishing and the editing and everything, all of these features also come in handy for you rather than just the camera or the resolution.
It needs to be all-in, because for me, taking out the camera, making it ready, I will miss the shot if there is something that I need to capture instantly. But if you have a phone on you that has all the pro settings, for instance, this one has pro settings, it shoots in flat rather than giving you the original colors. You can edit it later on. I did shoot a video with this earlier as well. So for me, that was very important, and also the mic, because right now we're mic'd up, so we have this crisp audio. But when I was filming with this on my skateboard, the wind breaker, the sound was crisp, and that's what I told him when I came. I was like, finally, a good mic on it, finally. Because visuals, you keep on improving, but there are phones that will compete with you on it. But with the mic, you can't compete with that, because nobody's improving that factor, and this phone finally has that.
So this phone is like a solution to all the problems.
Yeah, even for photography, when I'm traveling, I'm a travel photographer as well. So this is perfect. I'll be able to take a macro shot, a wide angle shot, a portrait shot at the same place, and then I'll go sit in a cafe and edit at the same time and upload on Instagram. So this is like a one-stop solution to all of my needs. Rather than carrying multiple devices with me, this is one single device that solves all the problems.
And on that note, like since you're into travel photography and everything, could you give some sort of advice to people who really want to up their game when it comes to Instagram photography, or like they want to take good pictures with their smartphones? Are there any tips that you would like to give them?
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that I would like to insist on is that please try different angles. Rather than just taking selfies on this pose, try different angles. I assure you things will come out extremely beautiful. You'll be surprised by it. And yeah, your friends will totally like it as well.
So what is the most favorite feature from Poco X3?
Mine was the portrait mode that I saw in the camera.
Portrait
You know,
mode.
that was one of the reasons why people used to get a DSLR. And they would, put up a 50 mm lens, a portrait lens, a 35 or 85 with a low aperture. So the low aperture, you had to spend a lot to get a good lens, which cost a lot. And I think this phone is the same price for that, but you get everything in that one phone. So it helps a lot.
So Mom, what's your?
I think the 64 megapixel, because I edited the picture that I showed today on Photoshop and it was crisp. Usually the camera की pictures होती हैं, they lose their quality once you edit them on Photoshop. So for me that was the winner.
Oh, what?
Yeah, definitely the portrait mode. The AI of this phone is extremely enhanced, and I was amazed by the quality. The hairs were completely different. They weren't merged like other portrait modes and other phones. So yeah, for me that was the winner.
So for me, when I got the phone, I had to create content, and the first thing I thought was like, yeah, gimbal pakad leta hu because stabilization ka masla hoga. So I was short time, I took the camera, completely stable. Second option was fast mode, capturing fast moving objects. That was very interesting for me because again, fast moving objects and traveling, I need it to be crisp. So these two were very my favorite, and again, the other two were the ultra wide and the mic.
So I think that's pretty much enough.
Thank you so much for joining us here, and I hope all of you continue doing splendid work and we keep seeing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for
Thank
having
you.
us.
तो फ्रेंड्स, जिस सबने अपनी अपनी राय दी है, इन लोगों ने मोबाइल यूज़ किया है, इनको जो जो चीज़ पसंद आई वो उन्होंने हम लोगों के साथ शेयर की। तो यहाँ पे पता लगा कि इसका जो कैमरा है वो बहुत ही अमेजिंग है। तो आगे हम देखते हैं क्या क्या हमें
That's
पता।
not all. There's still a few more details that really completes the XT experience. Some essential features are blaster, NFC, and headphone jack. We incorporated these three key features
ये
because
बहुत
in
ज़रूरी
this
है, ये
day,
तीनों
we
चीज़ें।
believe it enhances our users' life on daily basis. I didn't know how important IR Blaster was until recently I started using it to control every home electronics at home. It's just so easy. We have also added a fingerprint sensor and power button. Another feature that offers a great handheld experience along with a 3D curved back design we mentioned earlier in the presentation. While we are on durability, we also took the extra step to get our X3 tested by Tough SUD for IP53 splat view protection. So, in case when the rain comes out of nowhere, you will be okay. When you get your X3, you will also get an anti-material case and box. Your X3 also already have a screen protector applied to the phone, making your
फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पे आपको
experience
स्क्रीन
even more
प्रोटेक्टर
complete.
भी मिलेगा, बैक
When it
पाउच
comes
भी
to
मिलेगा
software,
पोको
I
एक्स3 के
believe
बॉक्स के
many
अंदर।
of you already know
बहुत से
that
पैसे
MIUI
आपके
12
बचने वाले
was
हैं।
launched a few months ago. For the X3, it will run in MIUI 12 for the Poco and the Poco Launcher 2.0 straight out of the box.
तो फ्रेंड्स, फोन ऑन करते साथ आपको MIUI 12 और पोको लॉन्च 12 इसके अंदर पहले से ही मिलेगा। अभी हम आपके साथ अनबॉक्सिंग शेयर करेंगे कुछ ही देर में, वो भी आप
And
देख
maybe your
सकते हैं।
friends want to see how you're doing again. We know a lot of our fans like to keep their phones up to date. We are constantly improving and we are able to make sure that with Poco X3, we will have 3 years of consistent updates. I'm sure many Poco fans know the feeling of when you see that there is a new system update. You can click on it without any hesitation because you know the red notification will stay there. The feeling is so satisfying after the update. Not only that, for the very first time, we will have kernel sources available for our users at sales launch. We know a lot of our fans want kernel sources so they can really customize the device to their fullest content. So we pushed for this and made it happen just for our users. With these, some may say, small details, we believe each and one of those features will enhance our users' overall experience. We want to nail the basics
Exactly
to
the
ensure
experience
you have
you need.
exactly the experience you need. Let's take a look at the product video.
Poco.
Amazing. Stay with me,
Wacky
guys.
amazing.
We're almost there, but let's recap everything I've talked about so far. Each of these features were really handpicked and chosen after a long period of research. And even we personally asking the fans on Twitter what matters. We went over design, performance, battery, and camera, hitting each target on point. Do you guys see what's missing on the slide? Yes, the price. I have got
Yes.
exactly the price you want.
प्राइस रेडी हो जाए जी. अब हम आपको हम प्राइस बताने वाले हैं.
Confident, we at Poco will give you exactly the price you want.
50,000 तो होगी प्राइस.
128GB variant.
आप लोगों का क्या आइडिया है फ्रेंड्स? कमेंट में जल्दी से बताएं.
41,999.
वाह, तो फ्रेंड्स बहुत ही अमेजिंग, हमारे पास 41,999 प्राइस है और आपको इस प्राइस पे
Truly amazing
मिलेगा.
value. This is Poco most aggressive pricing yet. Now let's have a look at this chart. If you take a look at our features and specs, if you can see, we beat out A71 in a lot of features. What gives this even more of an impact, we actually starts at 40,999 rupees. And that's a 28,000 rupees in difference. Almost half the price. This is our most aggressive pricing yet from Poco. Over to Rubab now.
And now that all of you know how much the Poco X3 actually costs, I want you to also find out about all these amazing offers and sales that you can avail on Daraz Pakistan.
चलिए
And for
फ्रेंड्स,
that,
हम
I would
आपको
like to
ऑफर्स
invite
बता
on
रहे हैं.
stage Mr. Qasim Malik from Daraz to come here and tell you more about it.
Thank you, Bob, for an introduction. Let me first start sharing the journey of Daraz and Xiaomi here in Pakistan. It started back in 2016, the very first time Xiaomi was launched and introduced by Daraz. And since then, it has been a very exciting journey of last 4 years. We have been through so many launches, so many campaigns, and so many flash sales, and sold thousands of devices to thousands of the satisfied users over the period of time. And yet here, once again, after a successful launch of Poco F2 Pro back in April, we are equally excited and thrilled to launch Poco X3 at Daraz. And the pre-booking will start tonight, right after this event.
अजान हो रही है फ्रेंड्स, उसके बाद मैं आपको बताता हूँ. तो फ्रेंड्स अब यहाँ पे हमारे पास टेक टॉक
I saw many features.
जो ऑफर्स हैं उसके बारे में मैं आपको बताऊंगा, बेफिक्र रहें।
120 hertz in this price segment was something that I have never seen. In fact, 120 hertz in any price segment below that 1 lakh range is very, very difficult to find in Pakistani market. So that was a new thing for me. In fact, when I looked at the specification for the first time, my question was, is it really 120 hertz or is this a typo or something? Because 90 hertz is the standard in this price segment. So that was the main thing that I really liked about this device, and my main impression was that this is made for gamers.
So the collaboration between the Poco and the Qualcomm team to introduce the global debut of the 732G chipset. As we've seen couple of 700 series chipset this year, 720G and 730G. So what's your take on 732?
As far as 732 is concerned, like I didn't get much of a chance to like really test it because the devices we were testing were basically in starting phase, and that was the reason we didn't talk about it more. But the thing is, it's 732G. We already know that 730G is performing really well, so we can expect that it's going to be much better than that. And it's already giving out some great results when it comes to gaming. Like in Call of Duty, I'm hoping that it will give us maximum settings, and I plan to use it more for gaming and then give out my final opinion. But I'm really excited about this device.
So do you think that anyone else can beat us within this year in this 700 series chipset within the price segment which we are going to announce?
I mean, as far as the market is concerned, I cannot guarantee that this will not happen because right now everyone is going aggressive. But the price segment that you guys announced today was not expected by anyone, like not by tech reviewers, not by companies, and I know for a fact nobody was expecting that this price segment will be handled by Poco X3, because we were expecting somewhere around like 50, and some people were guessing that even in the flash sale or something we'll get something like 45,000. So yeah, I don't think so that is easy to
मुझे
do.
भी यही लग रहा था कि प्राइस बहुत हाई होगी, लेकिन बहुत ही अमेजिंग प्राइस जो है पोको X3 की लॉन्च हुई है।
So Basil, what's your take on the processing and display which we just discussed with Bilal?
जैसा कि सुफियान भाई बिलाल ने बात की, बिल्कुल एग्री करता हूँ इस बात से, बिकॉज इस प्राइस सेगमेंट में एक तो 120 हर्ट्ज रिफ्रेश रेट है, और दूसरी चीज़ जो मैंने नोटिस की कुछ टाइम किल करने के लिए मैंने गेमिंग की इस पर, मुझे एक चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी, वो इसका लिक्विड कूलिंग वर्जन 1 प्लस जो हमने 1.0 प्लस यूज़ किया है। दिस फोन इज टू कूल फोन, मतलब आपको बैक साइड से भी ज़्यादा हीट होता हुआ नहीं मिलता। और दूसरा ये कि आप कोई भी जो हाई इंटेंस हाई ग्राफिक गेम है उसको आप मैक्सिमम ग्राफिक्स पर खेल सकते हैं, एक चीज़। दूसरी चीज़ स्विचिंग जो है, आप लोगों ने डिजिटल स्विच जो पोको X3 में यूज़ किया गया है, जिससे हम लोग रिफ्रेश रेट जो है वो स्विच हो रहा होता है ड्यूरिंग गेम। आई लिटरली नोटिस कि मुझे कभी फील ही नहीं हुआ कि मैं कोई एक मिड रेंज का फोन यूज़ कर रहा हूँ। मुझे ग्राफिक्स टॉप ऑफ द मिल रहे थे, टॉप ऑफ द लाइन मिल रहे थे, और वही फाइव कनेक्टिविटी मोस्टली लोग जायरो के साथ भी खेले, तो मैंने तो फिर जायरो को भी चेक किया एक गेम को लेके, और फाइव कनेक्टिविटी टू गुड। और तीसरी चीज़ ये कि जो फ्रंट पर गॉरिला ग्लास लगाया गया उससे आने की एक्सपीरियंस है वो काफ़ी स्मूथ, मुझे पर्सनली बहुत पसंद आया। और इस प्राइस सेगमेंट में मैं बिल्कुल भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा था, मैं भी बिलाल की तरह इससे हाई प्राइस ही एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था, लेकिन ऑल्दो
Exactly. You know the dynamic switch which we recently introduced in this refresh rate and the display. तो उसमें मैंने भी काफी फोन और यूज किए हैं, इसमें मैं यूज कर रहा था, बट जो स्विच है वो आपको बिल्कुल भी फील नहीं होता। मैं अगर मैं आप पे क्या देखा इसमें
Sir, 120 hertz has become the trend of the day, और इसको इस price segment में लाना is definitely a big milestone for Poco. Secondly, sir, scrolling has been more into use than the cameras and videos. क्योंकि अब Instagram, Facebook and website you have to scroll a lot, and for that we need to have a top of the line refresh rate. Secondly, sir, processor की अगर हम बात करें, 732G plus Adreno 618 alongside AI gaming, which makes it true to life gaming. So ये जो triple trio है ना, it's a killing combination. So price के point of view से definitely पाकिस्तानी लोग करते हैं, तराजू में तोलते हैं, but overall अगर आप price segment को हटाएं भी तो ये definitely एक powerful device है। इसको mid range कहना थोड़ा सा underrate करना होगा इसको। So एक अच्छा gaming जो processor होता है वो definitely आपके overall जो टास्क होते हैं उनको तो वैसे ही स्मूथ कर देता है। तो एक फोन में अगर एक गेमिंग प्रोसेसर है, दैट मीन्स कि आपको नॉर्मल यूजेज इवन पावर यूजेज में इशू नहीं होने वाला। तो इट्स अ ग्रेट मूव बाय पोको कि हर चीज के अंदर उन्होंने बैलेंस से ऊपर वाली सेटिंग्स डाली है। आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड।
मैं भी एग्री करता हूँ बिल्कुल इस बात से।
प्रोसेसर मच ऑप्टिमाइज, मतलब एक होता है ना कि प्रोसेसर ऑप्टिमाइज नहीं है, बैटरी ड्रेन हो रही है, तो मैंने ये भी नोटिस किया कि बैटरी ड्रेन भी कम था, हालांकि मैं 60 FPS का गेम प्ले कर रहा था और टच भी स्मूथ मिल रहा था और हाई ग्राफिक्स पर गेम कर रहा था। आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि शायद बैटरी, लेकिन नहीं, पोको ने बहुत अच्छा बैटरी रेटिंग मुझे प्रोवाइड किया, इवन तो बैटरी कंजप्शन बहुत कम थी, सबके साथ लिक्विड कूलिंग अपना काम कर रहा था। तो एक कॉम्बो कहूँगा स्पेशली फॉर द गेमर्स जिनके पास बजट है 40 to 42,000, वो बिल्कुल कंसीडर कर सकते हो और बिल्कुल अच्छा एक स्मूथ गेम प्ले।
एग्जैक्टली, जो कि एमएमटी फीचर है हमारी बैटरी के लिए, जो 3 वॉट की फास्ट चार्जिंग है, उससे भी वी गेट अ लॉट ऑफ सपोर्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेमिंग।
The chipset to go. And as far as 4G and 5G rate is concerned, in Pakistan, I think Xiaomi is the only brand which is actually launching the 5G version. Because
it's already been launched by Pro if you see.
So other brands, even if they have a cell phone that is 5G capable, they are not launching the 5G variant, and that is the reason that I have been discussing. That due to the fact that they are not launching the 5G variants, we are also missing out on features like more RAM. Like their 5G counterparts have more RAM, so हमें RAM कम मिल रही है. The 5G counterparts have better cooling, so हमें cooling कम मिल रही है. So I remember talking to you when you told me about the last 5G phone, and I said, "Okay, are we actually launching the 5G variant?" And you said, "Yes, we are." So that is something that we are already planning ahead. And I know 5G is not here yet, but it's a good move that Xiaomi is not holding back. Even if you want to hold back and you can just load the RAM and release a 4G variant, it still will be the device you are launching. But 5G is the thing to go, और future में वो आएगा, तो it's better कि हम पहले उस पर कर लें. और 4G के अंदर this is the device, especially वो वही 4G market जो actual 4G है, because अब तो जो 5G phones हैं उनको भी यहाँ पे 4G में लेके आ रहे हैं, उनसे comparison तो नहीं बनता.
तो like पोको ने पहली दफा अपना मिड रेंज सेगमेंट का फोन लॉन्च किया।
हाँ देखा सकते हैं पोको F1 के बाद 2 साल बाद इस लेवल पे एंट्री कर रहा है और बड़ी एग्रेसिवली एंट्री कर रहा है, मतलब बहुत अच्छा कंपीट कर रहा है। लेटेस्ट
F1 तो हमारे फ्लैगशिप सीरीज थी और फ्लैगशिप को
at that time.
Yeah, at that time. So we were giving 845 at that time.
Yeah.
Within that price range segment. And then we had a gap of 1 year, and then we recently launched a 2 Pro, which is the leading chipset of the year, is the X65 with the 5G quality.
Right.
So now today, we are leading the 4G segment with the mid-range level, which is X3.
Okay. So I would like to include here that I'm getting excited about this device more than the F series, and you might be wondering why I'm saying this. F series is the flagship series, and I know it's a better phone, it's a more powerful phone, obviously because it's a flagship series phone. But when you consider Pakistani market, what excites me is that this phone is for the masses. Everyone can buy this.
Exactly.
40,000, 50,000, 30,000. These are the 3 price segments that I believe phones sell in Pakistan. If you make a good flagship device and you make it perfect flagship device and it is priced around like 1 lakh, no matter what you put it in, still there are going to be people who want to buy that device but they don't have the budget. So this device is the device that this market needs, and that is what is exciting me about this.
Yeah, and that's why we have recently launched the first ever Poco launch event with the X3. Because now, as you see, that Poco fans are increasing day by day in Pakistan, and with the support of the really positive word of mouth from you guys, we have decided कि हम अगले साल इसको आगे और ज़्यादा focus करें, and this is like going to be our entirely new brand, and we're going to be launching Poco Pakistan very soon on all of our social media platforms as well. So
that is a very good thing to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime a new brand comes up, it's more competition, it's more room for innovation, and it's better device for any consumer out there.
Besides, the consumer has a lot to choose from. They have much more options. It makes you guys competitive between yourselves, like with other brands, and the consumer gets the advantage out of that competition. And back to your question, like 732G would be the end processor for this year. It wouldn't be if the price would not be this. Because you guys are setting a trend to give the maximum level of performance in the lowest possible cost. That might be difficult for you for the future phones, but for now it's a great move.
And that's what our promise to our core fans, that we will continue to not disappoint anyone when it comes to the pricing.
Obviously, if you continue the legacy, obviously Xiaomi fans, Poco fans, they will increase, and they have been increasing drastically with the passage of time. And that is because you guys are giving the performance in the lowest possible cost. So obviously, if you compare your device with your previous devices, it's miles ahead with even them.
Exactly, I totally agree with you, Akram, on this. So let's discuss at the last about the camera.
Yeah, for sure. Cameras are last but not the least.
Exactly.
कैमरा भी फर्स्ट इंप्रेशंस के लिए तो हम कह सकते हैं कि pretty decent है, बट कैमरा को डिफरेंट लाइट कंडीशंस में चेक करना होता है। ऑल्दो फर्स्ट इंप्रेशंस के लिए अगर रियल कैमरा की बात की जाए तो 64 मेगापिक्सल में साथ कैमरा के साथ काफी ज्यादा एनहांस हो जाए। इवन तो आपको नाइट के अंदर स्पेशली मेरी नजर में वो कैमरा फोन अच्छा है जो इंडोर लाइट्स कंडीशन में अच्छा काम करता है, बिकॉज डे लाइट पे तो सारे फोन अच्छा काम करते हैं और साथ के साथ हमें रियल पे ये इसकी सपोर्ट मिल रही है।
और
फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन वो प्रीटी डिसेंट और फ्रंट साइड पर हमने 20 मेगापिक्सल में सेल्फी कैमरा भी देखा जहां पर हम स्लो वीडियोस भी रिकॉर्ड।
तो देखिए आपका वेट खत्म हुआ और ये डिवाइस आ गई। अभी कुछ ही देर में हम इसकी अनबॉक्सिंग अपलोड करेंगे।
कभी स्टेटस लगा रहा हूं मैं कहता हूं फ्रंट कैमरा से स्लो मोशन बनाया जाए तो स्लो अच्छा आ जाए, तो प्रीटी डिसेंट और फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन में कहूंगा काफी डिसेंट।
So like AI mode के अंदर like जितने हम फीचर्स ऐड कर रहे हैं day by day with the new updates. So what's your take on that? Like any one of you wanted to highlight on this particular topic that the kind of new features they're going to launch?
I saw the feature you mentioned in the keynote, the feature where you
तो फ्रेंड्स, अगर आपके कोई क्वेश्चन है तो मुझे बताएं, मैं यहाँ पे आपसे कर सकता हूँ, जवाब दे सकता हूँ। जिसने हमें ज्वाइन किया है बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो फ्रेंड्स, ये था पोको का लॉन्च इवेंट। तो यहाँ पे अगर आप मोबाइल को अभी बुक करवाते हैं तो आपको बहुत एक्साइटिंग गिफ्ट्स मिलेंगे, लाइक आपको पावर बैंक मिलेगा यहाँ पर, और भी बहुत से आपको अनएक्सपेक्टेड गिफ्ट्स मिल सकते हैं। और यहाँ पे जो इसकी प्राइस लॉन्च की गई है वो 41,999 रुपीज़ है, लेकिन अभी जो अर्ली बिल्ड के अंदर आपको मिलेगा 40,999 रुपीज़ में। अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, मैं आपको आंसर दूंगा।
that is something that I really like, and this gives this phone a pretty
Gives you a proper bold statement.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
that
Like,
logo you have,
if you're
the phone on the
yeah,
back,
it shows
you can see a rainbow grading going on.
yeah.
थोड़ा सा अगर कैमरा सिस्टम को मैं रिवर्स इंजीनियर करूँ और AI की चीज़ें तब मजा देती हैं, मैं यूजर्स को ये बात बताना चाहूँ जब कैमरा के सेंसर्स बड़े हों। So we have 0.8 micrometer sensor, 64 के अंदर, and 13 जो MP ultra wide है उसमें 1.0 micrometer का सेंसर है। Bigger sensor means bigger size of the pixel, and bigger size of the sensor means a lot of light could be pass from the sensor, और फिर उसके बाद ये AI और ये चीजें इफेक्ट्स ये तब उस चीज का मजा दोबारा करते हैं। So being टेक्निकल हमारा काम है लोगों को ये बताना कि सेंसर जो इन चीजों का क्या सिनेरियो है, और ऐसा नहीं है कि पोको ने कोई क्वालिटी पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज करके और लोगों को मैनिपुलेट किया हो, फैंस को मैनिपुलेट किया हो। नहीं, यहाँ पे प्रॉपर सेंसर्स इस्तेमाल किए गए हैं एंड द मेगापिक्सल नंबर्स आर ट्रू। सो ये चीजें AI की
नहीं सर, 8GB वेरिएंट जो है वो आपको यहाँ पाकिस्तान में देखने को नहीं मिलेगा। यहाँ पे हमारे पास 6GB और 128GB वेरिएंट आया है।
You can say for the audience to see कि like
अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, मैं आपको आंसर करूँगा।
कैमरास के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा लोग जा रहे हैं, but what's really inside that is the customer. Thank you so much guys for joining us today, and that's
Thank
all
you.
for us for tonight. Thank you so much.
देखिए Redmi Note 9 Pro जो है वो दूसरा फ़ोन है, ये गेमिंग फ़ोन है। अगर आप गेमिंग ज़्यादा करना चाहते हैं तो आप ये लें, और अगर आपको गेमिंग का यूज़ नहीं है तो आप नोट 9 प्रो ले लें। दोनों ही अच्छे फ़ोन हैं। फैज़ान भाई, इसकी जो प्राइस है वो 41,999 रुपीज़ लॉन्च हुई है। कुछ ही देर में फ्रेंड्स हम इसकी अनबॉक्सिंग लगाएंगे, ज़रूर देखिएगा। उम्मीद है आपको इसकी अनबॉक्सिंग पसंद आएगी। 8GB का कोई चांस नहीं है जी, 6GB 128GB वेरिएंट आपको मिलेगा। आप ऐड देखें, इसके बाद हम स्ट्रीमिंग को एंड करेंगे। अली खान भाई, प्राइस है 41,999 रुपीज़, लेकिन अभी इसकी अर्ली बिड जो है वो आपको मिलेगी यहाँ पर 40,999 रुपीज़ में। आप इससे दराज से meestore.pk से ऑनलाइन बाय कर सकते हैं। जिसने हमें ज्वाइन किया बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मिलते हैं आपसे अभी अनबॉक्सिंग वीडियो के अंदर। थैंक यू वेरी मच। तो ये था जी पोको X3 का लॉन्च इवेंट।